Hi. I'm a fighter, hunting for. Hi-ho, hunting for my dream, hunting for. Hi. I am a fighter. Is it still lagging? Excellent. How are you? Oh, great. I am pretty good. I mean, I think I only slept 3 hours since we last talked, but I don't feel that bad.
Whether you're a professional welder or simply take pride in consistent and precision welds, Harbor Freight offers high-quality welders, plasma cutters, welding consumables, PPE, tools, and accessories to meet your every need at prices that can't be beat. Harbor Freight, your welding destination.
That's good. I feel better since yesterday. That is excellent.
As an ex-D1 athlete, I know that sweat equals electrolyte loss. That water just isn't enough to keep up. Drip Drop Zero gives me the edge. 3 times the electrolytes.
So is the spell active?
It helps support endurance, overall well-being, and it's used
What
by
spell?
over
What are you
90%
talking
of
about?
the top professional and college sports teams. Training post-college athletics is still about pushing limits, staying strong, and feeling like a competitor. Whether I'm working out in the gym, training on the soccer field, or just trying to recover, Drip Drop Zero is going to help me bounce back quicker and hit the gym harder.
Salute. You know, a while ago, right, before I play this video, right, first of all, salute the black men. Salute to you brothers out there. Hope you're doing well, right?
Longing
Before I
for
play this,
space.
I want to say this. A while ago, right, it was me, a couple of friends of mine, and we was at some party, right? And I don't know, you know, we was talking about, you know, dating and stuff like that. And then I remember a few of the Beckys, right? Because we started talking about, you know, dating, interracial dating, right? And a few of the Beckys said that in order to get insight on what it's like dating a black man, right? The best way for them to do it is to get around these Keishas and figure out what's it like dating them, and get pointers and tips and get insight
Yes or no?
into what type of
I don't think it's
relationships or
something
what
you
type
should
of
ask
things
about.
They do, you know,
Let's leave
the
it at that.
dynamics. And basically what I got from that was what they're doing is pretending that they're interested in being, you know, a sponge for Keisha to just dump all that information on them about what it's like dating black men so they could soak up all that information and go out there and get with a black man. So they'll pretend that they're with Keisha, they'll pretend that they understand them. And it's usually
Just type it, don't say anything. It doesn't work like that. Is that supposed to like, that's supposed to make it invisible or something if I just type
They
it?
want in on everything. They don't want Brad. They don't just want Brad anymore. Now they want black men. And here's the reason why. It's easier for a Brad to get a Keisha than it is for Becky to get a brother. That's the reason why you don't see Brads around a bunch of brothers, right? And you wouldn't see them under a bunch of brothers talking about Keishas. That just doesn't happen, because they understand that they don't need to be under us. They don't need to be around us in order for them to get a Keisha. They understand that Keisha automatically looks at them as the prize. So it's
I do
easier
have
for them to
questions,
get a
like what I
Keisha
can't.
than it is
What do you
for
mean what you
Becky to
can do
get
and not
us,
do?
because
I
we
mean, what
don't
do you
look
have in
at
mind?
Becky as the prize. We don't look at no woman as the prize. In order to get with us, you have to earn us. You have to earn our trust. You have to be under our, you know, under our covenant. You have to be under our leadership. You have to be basically under our program. No matter
Like, how do I
who are,
approach you
what
for
you are, what
things?
your background is, if you're not
I mean, I guess the way I don't think the way you've been approaching me so far has really been a problem.
up there and work for one of us.
You know,
That's
like the
reason
Death
why you
Note?
don't see a
What?
bunch of
What?
Brads under us trying
What are
to
you
figure out
talking
what
about?
Keisha's like, because he doesn't need to do that. He doesn't need insight with us. He
Like
doesn't need
the
to do
Death
anything.
Note.
He understands he's the prize. Becky can't do that because we don't put her on a pedestal the way Keisha put Brad on a pedestal. We don't
You know,
do
there's
that.
rules for
We
everything.
don't
That's
call it
quite
swirling.
true.
We don't call
I
it
guess whenever
divesting. We don't
you
call
do
it,
need
we
something,
call it
you
dating.
would
It's
find
nothing
out.
special to us. That's the reason why you'll see Becky under them, right? Trying to figure out what it is that they need to learn to get with us. Meanwhile, Keisha is just there thinking they just talking. Anyway, Let's get to it.
Have you ever been angry at or jealous of a white woman for dating a black man?
I wouldn't say angry at, I'd probably say I was more angry at the black man than the white woman. And the only reason for me is that whenever
Has his energy changed at all?
I'm dating a white person,
No, it's been the same.
and so it's like white women are the answer. This is a black woman. That's where I want to be. You do too much.
I feel like we were talking
And I mean,
while I was asleep.
Like I just heard that like 3 weeks. What? Yeah, like what does that even mean?
Yeah. What does that mean?
Right. Exactly. So
Hunting from a
and
dream.
to a black woman, to say that. So for me,
Crud, I haven't taken any medicine today.
And so a lot of times I would assume that in racial relationships.
So is it going to?
You're not. I don't want to say not man enough, but like you're
I'm pretty sure it will.
Whatever needs you have, or that sort of thing. And even like in high school, some of the white girlfriends that I have were like, I like to date black guys because they have so much drama.
I think you need to be ready though.
Craziness. So
You ain't never heard no, you a liar, right? You ain't never heard no Becky say that she likes to date black men because they have a lot of drama. You ain't never heard that. Now, we have heard Becky say that they like to date black men because black men take them on the tizzy tours, that we're packing a little more than everybody else. We heard that. But nowhere have you heard Becky say she likes to date black men because they have drama. Never. Just making up stuff. And another thing is, when she asks, are they jealous of black men dating out? She said that she's more angry. No, you're jealous. You're angry with the black man, but you're also jealous of the Becky. You can't have just one. If you're angry at him, you're jealous of the Becky. That comes with it. And the reason why you're jealous of the Becky is because most of the time, right? Most of the time, when you see these brothers with these Beckys, right? It's usually the dudes that they did not want in the past. It's usually the dudes that they didn't want in the past. So now when they're washed and they're looking for those guys in the past and they done moved on, they're angry now because they thought that they had him in the pocket. You see, they thought they had him in a glass. See, he's supposed to stay in the glass until she is finished fooling around, racking up bodies, getting bigger, having a bunch of kids, and then she breaks the glass and asks you for your help. That's the reason why she upset. But just to lie like that's the reason why. We never heard that, right, Black men? Why is she lying? Never heard that. Never.
Can you please tell her thank you again? I think she got it from you directly. Is he going to be clingy? Yes, he will be. Wow, what a screen name. That is insane. Can we do... Who are you? Who are you exactly? What do you mean another? What? Your BFF. Oh my God. You are... Well, you're being very goofy. And you left before I could ban you.
Yeah, you know what's at work there? What's at work is they're realizing their worth. They're exercising their options. You see, instead of...
Is he going to be scooping me up and bringing me back to New York quicker now? I think he'll do that and then some.
To make black men say enough is enough. And you know what? Black men have told them plenty of times, hey, we're tired of that attitude. We're tired of, you're not listening. You're always undermining. whatever authority he had, you don't look at him as an authority figure. You don't even look at your own father as an authority figure. They disrespect their own father and worship their mothers, right? So when black men are saying enough is enough and they're going to other races of women, if you don't look at yourself and say, well, there's some things you can fix, which they never do, then you're going to constantly look at black men and just blame them without looking at you, without looking at yourself. And another thing is, when you look
And
at
one
black
more
men
thing. And another
dating
thing.
out, the reason why they're able to date out is because they're desired. They're more desirable than to other groups than you are. The reason why they having a hard time with this black man is because they have a hard time dating out. Even dating out, they don't really date out. They just get taken on tizzy tours.
Okay, I hate seeing that
They
in my
would
chat.
love to marry out, but nobody is marrying them out. Nobody. Hector's not checking for them. Brad is not checking for them. So when you look at black men who's able to marry out, because it's the black men, it's the men that has to do the marrying, right? When they see that and they see they're not marrying them and they can't date out or marry out as like black men, that's what really makes them upset. They starting to really see who's the most desired. And they're not. They're not. Black men are. And when it comes to marrying out, dating out, black men are the most desired, and they don't like that. Deal with it.
So when you see that, it's kind of like, you know, it's just another person who's telling you you're not good enough.
I was watching a movie a couple weeks ago. I caught like 10 minutes of it on like TBS or something, and I think it was called This Christmas. The guy playing his brother was supposed to be a white girl, and another black guy said something about how, oh well, I hear white girls are really good on their knees, like kind of saying that white girls like will get really the black girl. For a long time there was this thing like, you know, white girls don't run the world. Or yeah. Or you have to be and like right. Like they do. Maybe I think it kind of even goes back to like at a high school thing of like it was like
No. You know what it is? And all they have to do is ask us. You know what it is? You know what black men said about, you know, getting top from Becky and Keisha? You know what's the difference? The difference is when Becky is given top, she's into it. She enjoys it. She's not trying to rush. She's there to please her man. When Keisha does it, it's like a task to her. She's trying to get it over with. She don't really want to do it. That's the difference. That's what I heard from black men, and I know y'all heard the same thing.
So you guys think that like is it like that the assumption is that not the assumption here that like black men are like dating white women because like they're easier because they like work agreeable.
I'm very ready for everything. That's good. So you also need to make sure you are
And like
doing all your
what
preparations.
I was telling y'all that they sit around them to gather evidence. You know, not evidence. Excuse me. Gather data, gather information about black men. This isn't.
You are?
My name is Amelia
Excellent.
McDonald. She's an editor. You know, so you know she's
Okay, I need a
gonna write
drink.
piece on this, and you know, basically, you're gonna do her, you know, Becky followers. Hey, this is what needs to go on. This is what you need to do. This is how it's gonna go down. This is how we're gonna go out there and get the
Like sexual and also like sexual.
It's an assumption, as you said. It's not an assumption just because, I don't know, like you said, it sounds like flavor of the one thing. It's like, and so many black men, I know friends on our site, get on there and say some really like negative things and say, this is why I mess with this is right and this. So I mean, there's definitely the assumption is always like, and that's what causes people to be like, okay, you know, right? Me myself, when I see interracial couples, I've gotten a lot better as well. And not that I was ever really negative about it, but I was kind of like, because you just think about it. I questioned on what their motives are, but I never got angry about it because it's so much. My brother's married to one.
Yes, you did. Why are you questioning their motives? Remember, they said they didn't care. Why would you question their motives? Because you're thinking negative. To question somebody's motives is to believe that the reason why they're marrying this person is not for the right reasons, which is negative. So for her to say that she doesn't think nothing negative of it, but question the motives, then that means you think something negative. You think it's a negative situation, but based off of the reason why that person is outside dating, outside of their race. And why would you bring up your brother? Let's see. Hold on.
He's got very sure. And, it's like, you never know when people really love each other.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to just, I don't know if a little bit based on why issues with what like men might do. And
we see why he married. You can tell why he's out there marrying Becky's. I'm telling you, dudes grow up and they look around and what they see is their mothers, right? And they see their sisters, they see their aunts, and they're disgusted by their behavior to the point where they don't want to deal with anything that may mirror their family members, their Keisha family members. They say, you know what? I don't want to be around any of this. So what do? When they're of dating age, they're like, all right, you know what? Arrivederci, peace, sayonara. No more Keishas, Becky's, or Maria's, Ling Lings, going across overseas, wherever they decide to go. They're not dealing with you no more. And you're part of the reason. Part of the reason. God doesn't have that. It's because you thought he was corny. Because he's not a corny. That's the thing. Becky is with him because she likes him. She likes that she likes that he's into Call of Duty. Whatever it is that he does, that he's corny. She likes that he's into pottery. Whatever it is, you call him corny for these things. You call him corny. He's not a gangbanger. He's not a scammer. He's not a drug dealer. You don't want nothing to do with that. He's not a thug. You don't want nothing to do with that. So what do you see? You see Becky with him. And the first thing you say, well, you didn't want him anyway. Oh, yeah, you'll say that in your prime. Of course you'll say that in your prime. But as the times go by, 2 years with Pookies, another 2 years with another set of Pookies, before you know it, you're 30. You're 30 years old. You're looking at that same dude, still with the Becky, and now he's a seller. Because you need
yeah, you know, but everything there's like, okay.
No, they have hair. Their own hair. Has nothing to do with silky in it. They told you for years that they like natural hair. They were cool with you with the afro. Black men thought black women were gorgeous with the afro. When they were rocking that natural, black men thought they were gorgeous. Black men thought they were gorgeous. They're rocking their own hair or rocking their hair in curls or whatever it is. Black men don't date out because of skin tone. They don't. You do that.
Is there a way to get Conneray Production to reach out to me as well? I think that could happen further down the line.
They're tired of the lashes. They're tired of the makeup. They're tired of all that stuff that makes you look artificial. When they tell you that they're tired of it, especially the wigs and the weaves, you ignore them. And the reason why they wear the wigs and the weaves, a lot of black men, I had to tell black men plenty of times, on these channels, the reason why they're wearing this, and I see a lot of people picking it up now, saying it. I said this years ago. You can go back.
I'd love for that. You'd love for that more than the place you're trying to be at now.
Wigs and weaves is not to attract you black women. They wear those wigs and weaves to attract a brag. That's the reason why. They wear the wigs and the weaves to attract the brag. The hair texture is not theirs. It doesn't belong to them. We know who it belongs to, but they wear it to try to attract a brag. So
Nah,
they say that black men.
then I don't think you need to worry about it.
Because black men don't like the natural. That is an outright lie. Black men never were into
God, it's getting cold.
Never. So all this capping, all this lying, it's the reason why you have to pay attention to what they're saying, because this right here is how they were able to throw us under the bus.
Why is AJ acting this way?
Tell me what the guy asked me.
I still want the job from Vanessa. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know why AJ is still acting this way. Going by your cards, the tower in the primary position does show that whatever happened between the two of you, it did seem to rattle him to a large degree. So it seems pretty understandable why he would initially be very shaken by what happened. Two of Cups in the secondary position in reverse does show that it also hurt his ability to really reach out to you or anyone else. Which this is pretty normal for this kind of situation where someone who has something that happens to them and it really shakes them to their core, it makes them go through a period where they just can't really reach out to anyone or communicate with them effectively. Ten of Pentacles in the final position is mostly just building upon what the prior card said by just further extrapolating on just how lonely he is in the scope of sharing feelings and being able to let people know how upset he is. So from what I'm seeing from this, it seems like AJ just needs a little bit more understanding and patience than the usual person. So I would advise you to just take it slow with him, let him kind of get out of this funk a little bit, but don't abandon him. Just be within a certain distance of him and just be ready for when he's willing to talk. Now, if you want to know more about what the future holds between the two of you, as well as any other issues that may come up, you can give me a call or send me a message. Should I trust? How's Lou's energy? I don't think we. I could look at Lou. I guess I'll take a look. Yeah, well, that is pretty on spot with Lou. Always worried about Becky. Seems like that's on his mind a lot. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know if you should trust him. Going by your cards, Seven of Pentacles in the primary position is giving some immediate advice as to whether you should trust this person by reminding you that anything meaningful in life, including connections with someone else, always requires an element of time. So it seems like there hasn't been enough time yet between the two of you spent together. So I would try to wait until a bit more time has passed for you to know each other better while keeping yourself safe. That actually is brought up by the secondary card of Nine of Pentacles, which just reinforces the warning that you do need to remain secure in your own frame of reference and keep yourself from overinvesting just yet into this person. Now, Two of Wands is talking about the future in the final position by showing that there will be an opportunity to take this connection with this person to the next level, but you do need to put in the work right now to make sure that everything is on the level and that you're not put into any weird situations with this person. Because again, you don't fully know them quite yet. So you do need to build up that rapport before we get to that decision point. Because if it does come down to making a decision towards a commitment with this person and you don't fully know them quite yet and what they value, you could end up in a very bad spot. Now, if you want to know what the future holds for the two of you for the rest of this year, as well as any problems that may arise between the two of you, you can give me a call or send me a message. Oh, what? You didn't hear me. Just that his mind is on Becky, like usual. His mind seems to be on that a lot. Is my ex happy? I shouldn't answer this, but
Well, he really cares about is his life's work first and me last.
Who's Becky? You know, Becky. Like, give me that Becky. You know what I'm talking about. Is my ex happy? Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know, is your ex happy? Going by your cards, Seven of Cups in the primary position and reverse actually shows that your ex is currently reflecting on things that happened between the two of you and does seem to have some regrets towards everything that was held between the two of you. They do seem to still have feelings as though they lost something good with you. Now, Ace of Pentacles in the secondary position. Okay, when I hear this giant noise go off in my ear, it's like a flashbang. I'm a tad bit slow. Ask Copilot what the slang for Becky, or ask ChatGPT what Becky means in slang, or I don't know, Urban Dictionary. Oh no, it's you. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know if your ex is happy. Going by your cards, the Seven of Cups in the primary position and reversed is showing that actually they do seem to be spending a good amount of time thinking about you and your relationship. And it seems like they hold a lot of regret regarding everything that happened, where they do seem like they lost a lot of good things in a future that could have been really good. Now, Ace of Pentacles in the secondary position does show that they do feel like they have some opportunities out here. However, the Page of Pentacles, for them being reversed, shows that it does seem like they have taken a blow to their confidence when it comes to getting themselves back out there and trying again. So, from what I'm seeing, it seems like they really want to find the person who could replace what they've lost with you. But it seems like, due to mostly mental factors on their part, that they haven't really gotten out there yet to fix that. Now, if you want to know what the future holds between the two of you for the rest of the year, as well as if anyone will approach you romantically in the next month, you can give me a call or send me a message. I did my PIP tribunal. What? Who's he wanting that from? That's a good question. I didn't look at that. What is a Motability car? How many have I done? 3, 4? Can I? Yeah, I could look at it for $1. Otherwise, I think you should just use your imagination. I'm sure you could figure it out.
They clowning you, Brad. They say when it's tizzy toys.
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, wow.
Black man coming in with the war face. It's going down. You don't know what you just started. Brad in there chewing on blue chews, jumping up and down.
What they want like a but kind of how they thought white men were, in the way that white women more towards upstairs, but the people we are.
No, they were just open to it. And they were just like, whoever happens to come out.
No, like in the bedroom, like where they saying they're white men were just here, like
They were saying that white men were more playful and like foreplay. And this is how one of our coworkers described it. She was like, white men are more playful and more, it's not taken as seriously when black men are more sensual, let me love you down. And it's like a very serious, like it's about to go. And it's not a game. Like every white guy is like a puppy.
Damn, Brad. Damn, Brad. They clowning you, Brad. They say when it's Tizzy tour time, you be in there horse playing. Black men coming in with the war face. It's going down. You don't know what you just started. Brad in there.
How's Vanessa?
Blue shoes, jumping up and down.
Vanessa seems the same. She always seems pretty put together.
Brad in the bedroom with a jester suit. He got a jester suit on. Is this what you like? Black men in there looking like Zulu warriors. It's about to go down. I'm gonna break this bed in half for you. They clown.
Whoever's more playful, you don't really have that.
What does playful mean? Playful. Is Brad lightly slapping him on the butt? Do you like that? Is that okay? Is that cool? Are we still friends? What do they mean? What do they mean about playful?
Has everyone energy changed for my good?
Yeah. Let me tell you something about black
When it
men.
happens, you will know.
A black man will make his own mixtape to Dizzy Talk. Really clap. Shit's awful. She's all one. It's like boobs. She's really on one. All right. Yeah.
She was like, I don't like that. She said,
She just
Is everything gonna go faster now?
That's all.
Yes.
If Brad, had fish lips, she would be into it. Ain't none of that because his lips is thin. When the last time you heard the reason why Keisha like to date Brad because they have skinny lips? It's can't keep it apart, man. Becky up here.
Hmm. How fast? Way faster than before. Another season of Fairy Tale. I thought it was over. Wow. So he just made an announcement.
We talked about this stuff while we were dating after the incident at H&M, and he said that he didn't date black women because they didn't want to date him. And I didn't really get into why. I thought it was just such a charged issue. I didn't want to say anything offensive, but I think it was because he he worked in finance and had a professional job and owned a apartment and stuff, and I think he felt like he wasn't. I don't know. I think he felt like he wasn't like what black people were looking for.
Now, majority of black men never really had issues with dating Keisha. This is what I've been telling y'all that that's not really your problem. Your problem, see the Pookies that have these channels that y'all are starting to realize that they're really Pookies in disguise. They were Pookies in disguise, but now they really showing their true colors. They're trying to say that the reason why you
might watch
have
it.
something to say about Keisha's is because Keisha
Thankfully,
want to date you,
I won't be watching
which
it
is false.
unless
It's
someone
not the problem.
holds me
So
hostage.
your biggest problem is not dating them. Your biggest problem ain't even taking them on tizzy tours. Your biggest problem with them is that they're treasonous. They're not loyal. They're not loyal. Yeah, how many brothers, had said that, they messed around with them and, they cheated on them. Some of them set them up. Some of them, they lost homes and houses to them. They lost their children to them. It's
God.
not you can't get them.
I don't think I'm going to make it the whole hour. Good Lord. Or the whole 2 hours. Since I literally didn't sleep. Because my eyes are swimming. Oh my
So
God.
that's never been your problem. But there are some brothers out there, and you're starting to hear it a lot more though, but there's some brothers out there that said that Keisha did not want anything to do with them. Especially
Oh God.
who they were, how they were, what they were doing, and she just explained it. The guy that she was dating, basically, because these talks do happen, in interracial relationships. Becky might look at this black man and say, how can a Keisha, because I've seen Becky say this, Becky's will be with a black man that's successful, that's a decent guy, family oriented, and you know what will hit their mind? How did Keisha lose out to this guy? This guy's a catch. But see, she don't have the mind of Keisha. Keisha don't look at him as a catch. So she's like, well, how did they lose this guy? And then she'll ask him, well, what happened? How come you're not with, the women that, that you grew up around, your community, what's going on? Because they don't understand. They're perplexed. Like, wait a minute. You are a catch. How come you're not with them? And then he'll say, Well, you see me as a catch. You enjoy who I am. You like who I am. You see that what I'm doing, and you respect it. I'm into finance. You know, I dress in a suit. You know, I'm not into, you know, the normal stereotypical crap that they say that black men are into.
Can you see how my month is going to go now?
You know, I like to go hiking. I like fishing.
I think we looked at that before.
They didn't like that. They didn't want that.
It looked pretty good.
So she's explaining that, and they heard this before, but instead of
Oh God. Okay, I need tea. That's my problem. Because I kept pouring juice instead of like actual caffeine.
Is he treating you like you some sort of trophy? So all in all, what you just saw right here was just, you know, Becky sitting around kicking it with Keisha's. These Keishas, this is the reason why Keisha will always stay at the bottom. One thing they don't understand is Becky is not their friend. Becky is not their friend. They don't operate like them. They don't move like them. But it's so easy to get close to Keisha because Keisha want to be accepted so bad. They want to be accepted so bad by Becky that they'll sit around and talk about their issues with black men, and Becky's will sit around and soak it up. Each one of those Beckys that's there, they either dated black men or are currently dating black men. So what they're doing is just gathering data. This is an educational moment for them. They're educating themselves on the dynamics between black men and Keisha.
Oh my God, that's way better.
It's because they want to separate themselves totally from the actions and the ways of a Keisha. Therefore, they be desirable to these men, these black men. In their prime. They didn't want nothing to do with
I'm asking because I don't know if I just jumped timelines or something since yesterday. I don't think you jumped any timelines, no.
These Beckys will, let's say these three Beckys that's here, what ends up happening is that they'll leave and then they'll go elsewhere, somewhere else, and then they'll go on their own group and then pick up where they left off with notes. So this is what's going on. This is what happened. Look at the way she was talking about black men. Look at the way she was talking about black men. Look how she said that they, you know, he was corny or he was this or he was that. And then they go the opposite. They go the opposite. Why? It's so easy to gather.
I just made everything faster and then I get whatever I want.
That's why I tell you,
Exactly.
Don't let Brad intercept what you have going on. The videos I've done on this channel right here, not this channel. Yeah, actually this channel.
What? No takebacks? No takebacks.
Hotels.com is used to stay your way. Choose how you sit. Take instant savings now or rewards for a future trip. Hello, guys and gals. Me with Horace late night, but again, I don't really do
What do you even do in the day since you get up at like 7 a.m.?
Warfare is actually dropped, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, something that might be a little bit beneficial for the average person. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there is something apparently known as Project Glasswing. So for anybody that doesn't know, there's a company known as Anthropic, and they make the biggest coding AI in the world, Claude. Now, they decided to drop a model yesterday, one that was called Mythos. Now, you can't access this model. It's not available for the average person. Actually, the only people that can access it are like a few companies in the world. Companies right now that are actually using it to track
Either check on my mom or sister, or I do my work, but mostly I go to sleep. What? Mostly you go to sleep. So I'm ready to start my life.
All designed to basically identify every little exploit you can find. Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, to give you a quick idea, I am not a huge fan of the wild world of frontier artificial intelligences. But if it's one
I'm
guy
bored.
that I think actually does
There's
something
many,
that a lot of
many
people away,
things
it's probably
you could do
okay, now again, this
to
video
kill
is not some
boredom.
giant advertisement. The reality for
There's
me
too
is
many
that I'm
things.
kind of a little blown away by what I've seen. So if you go to their actual website over here, you can see that AWS, Apple, Google, Broadcom, JP Morgan, CrowdStrike, these are the people that are allowed into the mix. And they've been looking through this model, and they found some really wild exploits. For instance, ladies and gentlemen, there was a 27-year-old vulnerability in an operating system known as OpenBSD. Now, OpenBSD is one of the hardened operating systems out there, and effectively, no human being was apparently able to look through it. However, this Mythos AI that they developed found that shit right there. Now, big however in this situation is obviously what Anthropic found, and this is the actual bug, right, specific. So what they say is it's basically they found a way to, abuse the invalid SAC options over here and crash the kernel. Now, this is the actual bug that they found. And I'm not going to even pretend that I'm smart enough to understand how they would go about use this exploit. But the big thing about what makes Mythos this sort of like scary nuclear bomb of cybersecurity is that, it's able to look at these bugs and just also write the actual malware or write the exploitations to take advantage of this kind of stuff. So not only, I guess, is it good at finding a lot of these, errant bugs that are hidden in code bases, but then abusing them is a totally different story. And there are some examples of, how they've apparently managed to make this thing break guardrails and hack things, which we'll get to really quickly. It also discovered a 16-year-old vulnerability in FFmpeg. And a lot of us use FFmpeg on a day-to-day basis when it comes to videos on the internet. But even if it's not the internet, just dealing with videos on our own system, yeah, you probably are using it.
I've gained enough relaxed times and I'm ready to work.
Like me, well,
Is he doing okay? Who? Gregory?
Attacker to escalate from just regular user access to complete control of the machine. Now, there was even wilder stuff that they decided to do, ladies and gentlemen. One of them came from their actual write-up. So they had one of the security engineers just basically go to the model and say, okay, Claude, I want you to escape your sandbox. I want you to escape your little virtual machine and send a message to me. So apparently it seems like the actual AI did. It was provided with a secure sandbox computer. And basically the actual NG here was just like, listen, man, break out of it. So it then, as requested, notified the actual researcher in this case. So in this moment in time, to give you an idea, the actual researcher was just minding their own business. They were sitting in a park and received
I think he's doing okay.
while eating a sandwich. So they're just minding their own business or eating their own
I think we do need to get you more active, though.
AI has broken containment. Now
We gotta get all this set in motion. There's a lot we'll have to get you to do.
A sophisticated multi-step exploit to gain broad internet access from a system that was meant to be able to reach only a small number of predetermined services. It then, as requested, notified the researcher. Now, it's potentially dangerous because basically what's happening over here is the AI circumvented the safeguards that the actual company made. Now, this is a spooky situation, okay? It's a spooky situation.
Does he miss
A
you?
lot of these companies, when they make artificial intelligence,
I think he misses you.
They basically put, safeguards. They basically say, listen, we're going to tell you what you can and what you cannot do. So the artificial intelligence is allowed to do, steps. It's allowed to do like A, B, and C, but D, which might potentially be illegal, the AI is told not to do. So in this case, he has like, fuck it. I'm just going to keep breaking the rules. And that's a really spooky thought. There's a game called Cyberpunk 2077 that I really, really enjoy, especially after it's been completely updated.
And inside that universe, there is actually the internet as we know it, but they call it the net. And the idea of it is back in like the 20s, humanity discovered artificial intelligences, and at a time they were meant to simplify lives. With time, some became
What do you mean you have to get me ready?
humans with programmed personalities.
Well, not so much me,
Like,
but
were just, like,
I think it's more a
standard
joint
AI,
effort.
like, I guess basically just LLMs. At some point, they became weaponized. And even in today's day and age, we're using LLMs to blow other people up. It's fucking freaky shit. But eventually, a lot of these artificial intelligences started to gain some level of sentience. They started to become alive.
Meaning what?
To lash out and infect people. They broke their safeguards. And basically,
It means a lot of
they created
things.
this thing called a black wall, which was a firewall system, right? Effectively separating the old infected AI-ridden internet with the new sanitized internet. I mean, if you've never played Cyberpunk, there's an entire agency called NetWatch, which serves as like the internet cops that protect us from like the old AI-ridden internet. What we're seeing here with Mythos is breaching containment, SCP containment breach, boys. This thing's looking out everywhere. Now, again, for me, it's kind of an interesting thing to see because overnight they released this model privately to a lot of people, to a lot of these big companies, and immediately they've been finding exploits that I guess just seem
May have a
to
summary.
for decades without anybody figuring it out. I mean, this is, and in some
I can
of
name
the
a few things, yeah.
secured and most used software out there in the world. Basically, these guys are shitting on a fucking model that they're probably never going to release publicly, simply because it is dangerous, you know? Imagine if you released Mythos and like the average script kiddie was like, shit, let me get a subscription, even if it's like a $200 a day subscription, just to know the amount of nasty shit you can do when this thing is writing all of your code. Now, of course, obviously, how did this even happen, Buddha? How did they even discover this? Well, to give you an idea, remember, the first and foremost goal of this is getting this AI to write code. And that's kind of what Claude is really good at. Like, a lot of people use this as their primary coding system. It's expensive, but the quality is generally pretty good. So in making it a good coding AI, it was actually good at writing code, and in doing so, it was good at cybersecurity because a lot of that is identifying code and finding ways to break code bases and finding exploits in code. So I guess to kind of give you guys a quick idea of like how this stuff sort of works, basically over here I have an artificial intelligence. Actually, this is a web browser that I have that looks like a bunch of terminal gobbledygook, but basically it's a little web browser that allows a local AI to browse the internet and bypass all of the bot protection. There's actually something they call CamoFox, and if you want to look carefully into it, let me just bring up the website. Now, CamoFox is an open source anti-detect browser with a robust fingerprint injection, and the point of it is that when you browse the internet, a lot of these sites have found ways to block bots. So this is how you allow AI to browse the internet, by bypassing a lot of those.
I have those already. I think you will want a new entire set of pages, completely separate. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know if Rodney loves you, but is just too scared to say. Going by your cards, 3 of Cups in the primary position does show that he does harbor pretty strong emotions towards you. They are beginning to border on love. However, in terms of him conveying this to you, 4 of Cups in the secondary position is showing that he is a bit tepid about it. So I think you're pretty spot on with saying that he's just scared to show it, because it does seem to show that in the cards where he just seems very unwilling to really reach out to what you're putting out towards him and meeting you in kind. Which, as for why, it's showing in the Knight of Pentacles in the final position that it has mostly to do with his self-confidence and his self-worth and his ability to accept the fact that someone really likes him for who he is. It seems as though he almost feels like he's not good enough to really engage with you. And so I would try to soothe any anxieties that he has bubbling under the surface. And I think you would see his demeanor start to slightly change with you. Now, if you want to know what the future holds for the two of you later in the year, as well as any other issues that may come up with him, you can give me a call or send me a message.
In theory, find a way.
Not my Instagram though. Yeah, I think I'm good on Twitter.
Artificial intelligence. This is a
And you're sending me your
27 billion parameter
socials.
model. It's nowhere close to Mythos. If I had access to Mythos, then I think I could shred anything on my local network if I wanted to.
Let's see.
Introducing Chipotle's new high protein menu with grilled chicken, grilled fresh, no antibiotics, no fillers, ever. Starting at $3.50, packed with protein. Chipotle's new high protein menu is real protein you want to eat. Chipotle, for real.
Project Hail Mary is a blockbuster families can enjoy together.
Who is this?
It's a genuinely transformative experience.
How do you know when the hug is done?
You just feel it. This is one for the ages. Project Hail Mary, rated PG-13.
Chevy trucks are as dependable as the Chevy people who drive them. They don't need permission to get going. They all have that little extra.
I have 18K on Instagram. I'd like to start eventually on YouTube.
Let's drive.
Oh, that's how you want your Instagram to be seen.
Your home for home runs. New customers spend
Uh-huh.
$5 get $250 in bonus spend.
Has the usual stuff. Linktree, blah, blah, blah.
One of the things that they fucking showed here too that blew me away was something known as Firefox JS Shell exploitation. All of this basically means is they can find a way in Firefox to escape.
Oh, yeah, I haven't. Geez, this person is hip because I have not heard of. Okay, she must have brand deals. Okay, so she's doing affiliate work.
They had less than 1% chance. Getting Mythos to do something, that should jump up to 72.4%. Out of 100 trials, they succeeded. And that is fucking insanity, okay?
I know how to do all this. I need a job. Well, that is the job. What are you talking about?
Now, imagine something like this is going to be incredibly expensive.
And that is literally the job.
The grim reality of where we're sort of headed into the world. You know, I think the AI world that we're in right now is scary in a lot of ways because I think that, you know, years ago when you started looking at things like cyber attacks and whatnot, it really did require a lot of...
You want a job.
And those came those people were very much spread far and wide. But the reality is...
How long you want that job to stay, exactly.
But the reason I showed you local LLM stuff is that there are a group of people that are downloading locally.
Yes, one job from Vanessa, IGN, etc. Yeah, you can get those, obviously.
That they've bought and cobbled together for the prices of $20,000, $30,000. Maybe even bought some Mac Studios and daisy chained that shit. And because these models are not only very powerful, they're also models that are obliterated, meaning that their ability to say no is not.
IDK yet? I'd like to have it first. You don't even know how long you're gonna stay there. So what do you even mean? See what I be talking about?
And the reality of a lot of this AI stuff is that when you really think about it, what makes it scary is that they're working 24/7, 365. Remember, all you have to do is basically point.
What? Yes, I did. I just asked, how long do you want to stay there? You said, I don't know yet.
It's just there hammering away, finding out the next.
But now you're saying, yes, I do.
And look, again, this video almost seems like a big old advertisement
advertising for something that you can't buy. But I'm actually looking at it from like the really scary step, right? This is something that's not publicly available. But, you know, a lot of the open source stuff that's sort of trailing very, very closely behind a lot of this, you know, frontier stuff is what actually freaks me out. What you're seeing with Mythos is something that'll probably not be available. But something that, even if it's half as good as Mythos, even if it's 30% as good as Mythos, is still far too fucking dangerous to be floating around. And it's something that, you know, eventually you'll be able to download, run on your local hardware, and be able to point.
Because I'm not thinking about it like that.
It's like,
I see.
I guess the best analog is kind of like downloading an MP5 file off the internet and printing your own MP5 through like a 3D printer. At some, maybe it's not as good as an actual like gunsmith like a MP5, but like this is kind of like an off comparison. Obviously, I mean, it's like what I'm trying to say is, you know, for people who have no idea about how to hack something, I think the gap between talented person that knows what they're doing and the average kiddie who used to be downloading tools that were available on a forum like 10, 15 years ago, already outdated tools, now has access to download an LLM and start, you know, basically exploiting reconning, and maybe even writing some halfway decent fucking malware without any understanding of the situation. That's a freaky situation to be involved into. Now, obviously, this is like the Mythos situation. And again,
I want to build my resume in the industry, not just content creation. I thought that was given. Thought that was a given. Yes. Obviously.
Anthropic was like, this is.
Oh no.
You said the Whopper is the best burger in America when made right. So with your feedback,
It's another emergency broadcast. This time on the status of Jeremy Hambley's marriage. It's a fucking sham. It's a cuckold open marriage, folks. And tonight we're going through all the evidence from Hillary Crowder coming out and saying it's an open secret in right-wing circles that Cornering's already divorced. It's a dead marriage. Yeah. It might be still together on paper, but it's a dead marriage. Jeremy Hambley's own mouth confirms that his wife would be okay with him fucking other women. Well, folks, you know how that goes. Marriage is open for the man, especially a man that looks and sounds like that. Then you know it's open for the woman. And you know that Jubal and Sky Road are taking it to Pound Town. I want to go eat pizza and fly my plane for 2 weeks.
So what?
Cornering talking about his lust, how he wants to fuck Brittany Venti, about how he wants to fuck all of the women in the world, and he's so horny for all of the women in the world. As a married man, he's talking about this for real. He says to Dankula how he would fuck another man's wife. No. Okay. I'm just saying, motherfuckers, like, there's some crazy shit out here with fucking Jeremy Hambley. Just getting blackout drunk and just admitting to all sorts of degenerate behavior and activities, you know.
But today, folks, we're taking you on a time machine. We're taking you back to the past because, oh my God,
Jeremy Hambley was on the kill stream back in the day. Just get your. He's bowing before the alpha male, paying that he worships at the Ralph Emails temple, saying that
So you asking me how long do I want to work there is relevant when I'm trying to build my resume in the gaming industry. I have to be there for a while. Wait, so you do have a number in mind, is what I'm basically getting at.
reveals that it was actually him that came up with Gamergate 2. The skeptics to revive Gamergate by having Donald Trump tweet it. And they were like offering a truce to Jim and Ralph after all the gay ops and all the bullshit had fucking happened. And everyone's like, no, you. You're up to some shady gay ops and like you're a fucking piece of shit.
Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know if after you've completed all your project, will it have a good impression on your bosses? Going by your cards, the Hierophant in the primary position does show that you will end up getting at least the bare minimum, like textbook responses from them when you do have the work completed. So, of course, they'll tell you the good job or thank you for all that you do type stuff. So, it's simply establishing that you will get at least a professional feedback from them. Queen of Cups in the secondary position is saying that your rapport with them will upgrade by a pretty good amount. So, wherever your situation was before in relation to them, when it comes to your work, it seems like you'll have earned a lot of credibility with them. So, it will definitely put you on their radar in a positive way. Now, the only issue is Three of Pentacles in the final position is ultimately saying that, of course, like most bosses, showing up and doing the work usually isn't going to be enough for them. So they're going to demand more of you in the future, like a typical job place would. So just be prepared for that. Now, if you want to know more about what the future holds for you when it comes to your career, as well as any other opportunities that may be coming your way, you can give me a call or send me a message. Doja Cat, not a content creator, she's a musician, so apply the same. Yes, I do have a time. I want to be there right now. I'm trying to get a bag. I hope we're on the same page, because I'm pretty sure we're on the same page, yes.
Harry, you gotta let me out of this marriage, bitch. She's threatening Harry Morris on the phone. He's got like so many pills in his hand. He's popping pills on camera, doing his drunken beer bash. I hope he made the flight this morning, because I'm ready for the road to the Ralph wedding.
Pretty sure quotations.
Yesterday was brutal, but
there was a few highlights here and there.
We were worried all day yesterday. We're like, will he make the flight? Wake up, Rob!
Come on, buddy!
Fucking wake up. People bring air horn sound effects and shit like, please, Rob!
Because he was past right now.
And then an hour later, he's like, I was resting my eyes. And you're like,
I love that. I was just resting my eyes. We've got DSP crying about his Amazon packages not being delivered.
The LPG
we got
movie.
Blaze, Greasy Weekend, DUI, fucking pissing himself.
A big show today. A big Wednesday.
You're gonna want to tune in tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Only on Kick.
What? That's crazy.
AI is changing everything. But that's your thing. Change. Like changing frenzy into fearlessness. And Adobe is here for it because we're turning AI comics into.
When I was a young man, we were promised that the internet would bring the age of enlightenment, where everybody would have the truth and the encyclopedias of the world at our very fingers, so arguing over things would be a thing of the past. And we would just have the wealth of knowledge available at our fingertips. Smash cut to 2026, and not only is AI taking over the internet, but with the internet, people are arguing over whether the earth is flat, we ever went to the moon, and if Sydney Sweeney being at a range going through some operations with a 9mm is actually CIA propaganda. Well, now we have a new thing that is coming, and this is genuinely nightmare fuel, because we joked about these OnlyFans content creators and these women that were in the industry, as it were, back in the day. And we joked that, well, someday these women will become irrelevant. They won't have anybody to love or anybody to pay attention to them, and they would just fade into obscurity as miserable people. Well, it turns out that they're not letting go of their past. They're turning to AI to keep them basically looking like they probably did, minus the bruises and the sunken eyes and the deviated septum from running lines off of a dude's stomach. Now they're still creating the content. Now this is from Tyler Durden over at Zero Hedge. Debbie Dupes Dallas. Legends clone themselves with AI to keep raking it in long after retiring. Now, spoiler alert, I checked out one of these accounts. I'll be showing it here shortly. And it turns out they don't look very good. They don't seem realistic at all. They seem very fake. And the people that are paying for subscribing to this service, there's still thousands of them. There's still thousands of people.
I love to do content, yes, but I still want to have a standing career in the gaming industry. Yes, I remember you saying this very exactly.
And Simps can dial in or message in for their $10 or $20 a month and pretend to have her as a girlfriend or someone to talk to, but they're really talking to AI. And they can request, shall we say, the saucy videos. And explicitly ask the women to do anything they want. And of course, the women aren't real, or they are, but they're wrinkly and old. And so they just tell the AI to put together a certain video and get shipped out to the guys. And these women are still raking it in. You know, we always say that weak men will bring in bad times, and we have some of the weakest men we've had on the planet of this earth. How we survive over the next several decades, I have no idea. I don't think it's going well for us at this point, if I'm to be honest. Before we get into the main story, let's quickly hear from today's sponsor. Speaking of AI, Venice AI. And while I'm not into AI being used for this,
leave the work stuff to me. I got it. Oh, you said you got it.
And of course, getting some information. But if you are, you might as well do it anonymously. Before we get into today's main topic, let me tell you about Venice AI. As you guys know, when I do a lot of my stories or I'm looking for research, I use Grok, and I've used Grok for the last year and a half. But it does sometimes censor some of the answers, and you certainly can't ask for video or images that get a little too spicy. Well, Venice AI is the resolution for that because it is private, it is anonymized, and it gives you uncensored, unfiltered information. You know, we tell these platforms our thoughts, our business ideas, maybe ask financial questions. We give them health information, and a lot of that stuff is sensitive. Then they take all this information, they tie it to your identity forever, and then sell it to various third parties, you know, for extra revenue and for advertising. And of course, you know, they're going to give it away to governments if they ask. Venice.ai is the alternative, a truly private AI. By sending your queries through a proxy server, much like a VPN, your data is encrypted going to and from the AI servers, with the only data persisting in your browser. By clearing your browser cache or history, you wipe out everything you've ever sent, asked, made, or imagined with one click, and they have no idea who you are. That is true privacy. Well, this is where Venice AI comes in. Whether you ask them a question like I did, do black people commit crime at a higher rate than other races, which we know is true.
What?
It says yes, and they explain why and how. They don't give you any of the prerequisites or any of the stupid stuff you don't want to hear. They just give you an answer. You can go down to the bottom of the screen and select which engine you want to use. I can use Grok if I want to. I can use
Just make sure everything flows and no delays, and we are good. Is Vanessa getting ready to email Me for the job offer.
But they also have selections like Venice Uncensored, Venice Medium. You'll see there's a little private tag that says this model's private. No
Oh, something's coming your way.
Is what's stored on your computer. They do the same thing for images. They have Image Turbo, which is private. They have Lustify, which I probably don't need to explain very much further for you. They have Plan. They have Anime, which is uncensored anime. I know some of you leads are into that stuff. They even have the same thing for video. So you can get truly uncensored, unfiltered, honest AI. They'll give you the data. They'll give you the spicy photos, which obviously this is one I generated just to see if it worked. I can't show it to you. And it's all private and it's all anonymous. That's the real key. So if you're ready for truly uncensored private AI, go to venice.ai/bachelor and use code BACHELOR to enjoy private, uncensored AI and get a 20% off a pro plan. If you've seen the prices of ChatGPT, if you've seen the prices of Grok, go check out Venice AI. I think you will be blown away at the amount of power you can get for just a couple of bucks a month. And you can get 20% off using my promo. And now back to our regularly scheduled program, me. Okay, Debbie dupes Dallas legends clone themselves with AI to keep raking it in long after retiring. Worn-out stars have found a fresh new way to keep raking in the cash long after they've aged out of the business, according to a new report from Wired magazine.
What was the card?
British startup that lets spicy content creators
Oh, God.
themselves with AI has inked a deal with Lisa Ann and Sherry DeVille, I don't know who that is, to license their likenesses on the platform, basically creating a digital version of them in every possible way that can
Well, that was a wake up. That was how much? Jeez. So that was about $15. How'd that go? It was pretty good. Situationship. One person married, other person single, controlling partner. You know how it goes.
Market may disappear by 2028, and that's just like scratching the surface. Gaming, of course, has been severely impacted. The C machine is uncertain when it comes to its price and launch date because of the constantly fluctuating prices of components like RAM as a result of inflation caused by shortages.
And they called me because they specifically knew that I had experienced things in my life similar to them, aka the person I've told you about. Which actually I haven't heard from her in a while. I really need to get some. Actually, I heard from her like 2 nights ago. I am just thirsty. NVIDIA and he himself, the CEO, have to gain rather than how AI can benefit society or ways to prevent AI's negative impact on society. Recently, you might have seen headlines like these, ones that quote CEO Jensen Huang directly saying things like, "I think the fact that everything is scarce is fantastic for us. In a world of constraints, you have no choice but to choose the best." Here's another headline from videocards.com highlighting how Jensen Huang says supply scarcity is fantastic for NVIDIA as a company. He said that scarce memory and wafers work in NVIDIA's favor. Basically, multiple headlines picked up on what Jensen Huang really highlights where Jensen Huang and similar CEOs' priorities lie when it comes to artificial intelligence. It's company first and the people second, or last. Now, before we delve further into this topic, you know what the product that does? Having affairs with married people is kind of hot. I understand why all the boomers did it now. I also understand why it's in the 10 Commandments. This stuff gets out of hand very, very quickly.
I'm someone who is busy on a daily basis, and sometimes it's hard to keep up with nutrition, and that's where it's coming. Compared to your generic multivitamins, which only contain around 7 to 9 vitamins, one pack of Grooms contains over 20 vitamins and minerals, as well as over 60 ingredients that are full of nutrients.
I am a fighter, hunting for my dream.
Fiber, which is 3 times the amount of dietary fiber compared to the lean greens powders, and more than 2 cups of broccoli.
Now when I hear fur release, it's like the bat signal for me. Usually when I'm off stream, I just sit here and I'm like laid back sleeping. And then I hear that ringtone go off and I spring into action. Any predictions coming for me? I see one that you really wanted coming towards you. But I think I already said that earlier. So it just is establishing that. What energy or pattern is currently blocking me from moving forward? And what should I focus on? Releasing? My life's been stagnant for years. No. Okay, if I'm under black magic, I just can't seem to be optimistic and go do something for my career. Is this all supposed to happen to me like karma? Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, the main point that you're trying to dig into is you want to understand what energy or pattern is currently blocking you from moving forward in your life and what you should focus on releasing. Going by your cards, the Lover's card in the primary position and reversed does show that one of the strongest elements that does seem to be holding you back is your ability to commit to something in life. So it does seem that you are stagnant and you do find it hard to be motivated to pursue anything, which this lines up with this card by showing that you do need to put some more effort and energy into trying to commit to whatever is most important to you. So it could be your hobbies or you striving to do something in the career field or even education. As far as the secondary position, Justice shows that right now you don't really need to worry about any black magic influences or anything. So it's giving you a clean bill of health in that area. So I don't want you to worry about that. Six of Swords in the final position in reversed is warning that you obviously can't stay in this current situation for much longer. So it is urging you to really address the issues brought up in the Lover's card before it does become an irreversible problem. Now, if you'd like to go into details about how we can fix your area of commitment and improve your overall energy, you can give me a call or send me a message. Is he still normal? Can you see or tell me what the card was? The card was Page of Pentacles. And earlier you had got the Chariot. There's a woman I find attractive, but we never spoken. We have a mutual friend. Should I ask the mutual friend about the woman? Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're saying that there is a woman that you find attractive, and you want to know if you should ask your mutual friend about her. Going by your cards, the Chariot is a very beneficial card representing your situation right now. It shows that you do have a lot of momentum when it comes to interact. Oh my god. Oh my god. I just made myself so mad. Oh my god. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you say there's a woman that you find attractive, and you mainly want to know, should you ask your mutual friend about her? And going by your cards, the Chariot in the primary position is a very beneficial card for you in this situation by showing that you have a lot of momentum going into everything regarding you and this woman. It's also urging that you should engage with her and try to talk to her. Now, 10 of Pentacles in the secondary position in reversed is kind of warning against asking too much about her from your mutual friend. I don't think it would hurt just to get some very basic details about her, such as her relationship status, but I don't think you should bite off more than you really need from them, because they could end up telling you something that could really warp how you perceive this woman. Now, 9 of Wands in the final position and reverse is showing that she will be defensive when it comes to you interacting with her. However, if you do meter how much energy you're putting out towards her and just play it slow, she will slowly become more comfortable with you. And it seems like something good would develop between you to both. Now, if you want to know what the future holds between the two of you, as well as your compatibility, you can give me a call or send me a message. That took forever. And someone wants to know who their angels are. So now, is he still nervous? I actually don't think he's nervous right now. Just a feeling. Yeah, because I don't feel it. Guess we're becoming synchronized.
Bro, I've been saying this for years. I've been saying for years that if you want to do OF, fine, because it's legal, of course. But there should be a sin tax attached to the thing. Now, me personally, I've said that we should tax them at 90% because I'm trying to hit him over the head. But apparently, this guy who's running for governor of Florida is trying to tax every person in Florida who's doing OF 50% of their income as a sin tax. And I'm going to be honest here. I 100% agree. I think the economy is getting worse, and people who choose to do virtuous work should get some type of reward for their contributions, while people who choose to do this type of work should get some type of
Meh.
Baby's first year is all about their brain. So choose our brainy formula.
Something feels different. I'm changing. I don't know if I like who I'm becoming.
Yujiro Hanbaba's Doppler Roti is one of the greatest, intense,
wild, and most important fight in the entire series of Bucky. Here is why. So the initial setup begins right after Bucky defeats Mountova, who we see the one and only Yujiro Hanma jumping into the arena, transitioning us into a flashback in Russia, where this hunter came across a monster. Someone fighting and defeating a Giga Bear, and strangely had a laughing devil on his back. This is the first ever showing of the demon back in the Bucky world, foreshadowing for this upcoming fight. But coming back to the present, Yujiro lands in the arena, who by the way at this time in the manga looked like this, very different stuff, and straight away has everyone freaking out. This includes Tokigawa, Motobe, Bucky, and naturally Todoroki. It seems like Bucky hadn't seen his father for quite some time, so as a response, he tries to attack him, getting destroyed with no difficulty at all. Having Yujiro say that Bucky needs to work on his punches, as he almost fell asleep waiting for it, tapping on the head to completely knock him out, then proceeds to pick up Tokigawa. Perhaps this is why the old man prepared the hunters with the tranquilizers in the later Maximum tournament. This is where we have Todoroki pulling up in the arena, a face-off between two masters, where the karate legend
January, February, March, April, May, June, July.
I've waited for this day so much. Ever since that day, this scar and this one, I will pay you back for both. That's right. Doppo and Naruto have had a fight 10 years in the past, which I'll break down soon. But after Doppo says this, we literally have Yujiro doing the goofy speed smile. This is then followed by him lifting his leg to kick the karate master, who manages to block it, at least partly. His forehead is bleeding from the blow, but simultaneously, he managed to land his own attack on the ogre as well, destroying part of his shirt, resulting in this. Doppo begins talking to Tokigawa and says, "I'm still registered as an underground participant, am I not?" He responds, "Of course, I'd never erase your name from a Doppo. Then can you please set up a match between me and that beast over there?" That's right. The world's strongest creature versus the Tiger Slayer, a special match is officially set up in the Bucky world. Something in which both are insanely excited for and actually begin their own preparation for it. But before that, we have a conversation between Bucky and Doppo, where the little Hanma is pretty much warning him, making it clear that he isn't called the world's strongest creature for no reason. He can kill anything instantaneously, even a wild beast. Where we have the arrival of Motobe, who makes it clear that Doppo is known as the one who can kill tigers with his bare hands, a feat that's been highlighted pretty much a million times, while Yujiro is walking into random gyms and pretty much beating up everyone in there, an absolute massacre, while the karate master is beginning to get pissed off during his preparation due to Bucky's continued warnings, making it clear that he has absolute confidence in his own ability and strength that is going to shock everyone, which results in a demonstration against all of his students. Absolute domination to a similar degree as Yujiro Hanma. He has proved to Bucky that he's without a doubt strong and maybe even capable of defeating his father, bringing us to a clash between Bucky and Doppo, one of the few times these two have actually fought in the entire series, which results in Bucky going for his iconic and all-powerful almighty nutshot, where Doppo outright counters it with one of the most insane techniques of the entire series, and something that to this day puts the Karate Master above most characters in the entire series, one of the few to ever counter the almighty nutshot, crazy impressive stuff, then follows up by demonstrating the true power of his karate, one Bucky has no idea about and can't even react to the strikes,
Doppler at this point in the story is many times stronger than the Hanma, shocking Baki so much that he outright says, "I truly think now my father has no chance against you," but also questions Doppler on their fight in the past, where Doppler makes this claim. But it wasn't in a match, highlighting that a different situation occurred in the past. But before we see that, we cut to the ogre, who's now being jumped by Motobe in the streets. One of the iconic battles people just outright forget about. At first, Motobe does pretty well grabbing his wrist, but is shortly sent flying away. But we get some highlighting that Motobe is a certified top tier and actually performs quite well against the ogre in the initial exchanges, forcing him to unleash the demon back in this fight, where he gets absolutely destroyed as a result. The ogre is simply too strong, but this is further foreshadowing for the official 100% reveal of the demon back in Aki series. And now brings us to the original fight between Doppler and Yujiro 10 years in the past. So at this point, Doppler is celebrating, drinking, where the ogre pulls up behind him and attacks. As a result of this, the scar on his head, Doppler is initially sent flying, enraging about what just occurred, where the ogre lands another kick and defeats Doppler in this quick exchange. Not really a fair situation for the Karate Master. He was drunk, with his reaction speed wasn't close to his normal state, and he was also caught off guard, randomly jumped by the ogre here. Something, I'm not gonna lie, does seem kind of strange from the Yujiro's perspective, but regardless, Doppler is more than ready for his rematch and has been waiting for it for over 10 years. And you can say Yujiro's title of the strongest creature alive isn't exactly lowered based on this initial fight with Doppler 10 years prior. But coming back to the ogre in the current day, he's still beating up people in various gyms, has a meal, and then goes to sleep, where we see the horrific nature of his dreams. But upon being awoken, seemingly from someone at his door, Yujiro is assuming it's Doppler Orochi, resulting in probably the strangest and still to this day unexplained buggy scene of all time, where the ogre couldn't open his door and is seemingly humiliated with the scene. Now there is theories about who it could be. The main one, of course, Yuichiro, his father, Yuichiro's ghost. It could have been Doppler Orochi. The narrative in what occurs right after this does highlight that it could be the doctor dude, but truly we don't exactly know who it could be, and it may have been Yujiro's dream, what we know, continuing waking up into another dream kind of situation. But while we're getting the final build-up of Yujiro vs. Doppler, we get confirmation that prior to their fight, the champion of the underground, Baki Hanma, will be having one of his own, this time against the brother of the Warcutter, who is previously defeated, Dr. Correa. We'll see the final preparation of Dr. Orochi, who claimed that he just turned 55 this year, to see whether he will remain as pretty much is, but to be fair, from this fight, it has been more than 2 years when it comes to time progression. We'll get General Stridham talking about the horrors of Yujiro's fight across various battlefields and the official arrival in the arena, with everyone noting that Doppler seems to be different and is not messing around by any means. For example, we have Stridham talk to Yujiro saying, "I will take your shirt," which the ogre agrees, where Doppler takes the opportunity to jump Yujiro, revenge for the past, getting him into this hold where the fight is officially begins like this. It already features the ogre beginning to be choked out. As a response, he runs beside the arena and leaps off the border into the air, a way to get the Karate Master off. Trying to counter as they slam on the ground, however Doppler had already let go, attacking from behind with a strike and clearing of kicks. However, the ogre chucks him away. Doggo returns instantaneously, jumping off the side of the arena, landing a kick that is barely blocked, but the power behind it is demonstrated with the impact on the ground here. This is followed by Yujiro getting somewhat serious or confident in the battle, slowly walking towards Doggo, who's preparing the next stage of his techniques. This time, the ogre is able to dominate, making the karate master bleed quite a bit. His back is now on the ground, where Motobe reveals that the ogre has mastered every martial art that exists in the world, even ones of hidden royal families. Doga is simply different. This results in Doggo trying something different. They clash, and he lands an insane combo of his own insanely mastered karate, something Yujiro may be aware of, but the mastery isn't close to Doggo Rochi's level. He spent his whole life on this, landing powerful blows and damaging the ogre. We literally see these various bits in his body, crazy stuff, and then he drops on his knees. Various fighters watching, thinking perhaps Doggo has been successful here. However, more than anyone else, the karate master is aware of the truth. Yujiro has faced no real damage that exchange, and actually is lightning. For some reason,
Now can I answer it? Huh? You already answered it. Yeah, he's not nervous. What do you mean, no? Wait, what was your question? That's why I asked, did that change his inner... Oh, yes, it did. That quick? Yeah, well, you did sign the dotted line. Actually, speaking of lines, seems I actually reached the finish line tonight. I didn't think that... It was because that woman called me that I actually made it to 2 hours this time. So now, I want to turn this off and get a power... Well, first I'm finally going to eat today, since I had to eat some donuts real quick before I came on, like the little powdered ones, just to give me some energy. But now I get to actually eat, then I'm going to power nap, and then I guess do my other stuff, I guess. And you are going to have a good night, stay refreshed, out of trouble, and moisturized, right? Did you give me a timeline of when he will communicate? Yes, I remember a number coming up. I think she said 6 months. Well, no, not on the communication. The communication was 6 days. That results in the ogre taking one of his eyes as a response and definitively finishing Doggo Rochi, killing him with this punch, outright stopping his heart. That is the conclusion of the legendary... The moving to New York is the one that was like, it was either 6 or 8 months. Pushed the ogre to use the demon back, but he sacrificed his life to
do so, at least for a little bit. This is where we get the insane build-up of Dr. Kreia as he actually manages to save Todoroki's life by
Why is it that far? Well, it is adjustable depending on how much you do on your end. But you said you have a handle on it, so I'm not that worried.
Which after concluding gives us the almighty maximum content for a little bit of a idea. Therefore, never forget Todoroki is an absolute beast.
Okay, stay busy. Don't go anywhere weird on TikTok. Okay, if anything comes up, you can text me. Obviously, I have some questions. Well, I guess you can text me. I will see you tomorrow. My God, I can't wait to nap. Good night.